Hey guys, common denominator question. Something to think about. Having a conversation with a friend last night about her recent interaction with another mother who was let's use the term non-suburban. Inner city, urbanite. Take your pick. Anyway, so she said that she had some interactions with her and her daughter. She said her daughter was the first one to have an interaction, and the daughter had sort of befriended this, I guess, a classmate of hers, and she said that she didn't like the idea of her daughter being friends with this little girl. And she said the reason why is because she could tell from the little girl what the mother or the parents were going to be like. And you know what? So she said that the little girl sounded, I think I gotta go that way. She said the little girl sounded, somewhat ghetto, and she was wondering, and immediately she knew that the mother or the parents were to blame. I've come across little kids before, cute little kids, and then you hear them speak, and it's like you're transported. It's like, my God, this poor child is getting a horrible start in life because their parents talk the way their parents talk, and it's putting them in a disadvantageous position in life so early on. Job interviews, how people perceive you, all of this stuff goes back to how you speak. Let's say you have clients, you grow up and you have to talk on the phone. A lot of black people will joke about being able to code switch, quote unquote, talking white on the phone. You're not talking white. Just speak properly. That's it. And if speaking properly is speaking white, and all white people don't speak properly, but just speak. Anyway, guys, you know what I'm saying, right? Not all white people speak properly. We know this for a fact. Just look at the South, and just look at any trailer park. Just speak properly. Represent yourself well. Anyway, so the little girl, unfortunately, she said, my friend told me that her daughter wanted to actually meet, or wanted them all to hang out. The mothers and the two daughters, they wanted to have she wanted to have like a date. And she said, what she said was, she couldn't understand why she wanted to have this date. So she said she eventually decided to have this date, and she met the mother, and she said right away she could tell that the mother just wasn't interested in her. Now, my friend, she's black. She grew up in the suburbs, right? She told me that, she said with her experience with inner city black people, they typically don't like suburban black people. What's your experience been? My experience has been inner city black people. It just depends on who you are. They may talk to you, but eventually they'll get frustrated because if you're not speaking to them in the way they want to be spoken to, if they're in the way they feel comfortable with the Ebonic persuasion, if you're not talking to them that way, all the time, they'll if you're not code switching for them, and if your code switch isn't good enough, it makes me think about some black people who grow up in the inner city who want to speak Ebonics because they want to be down for some reason. I don't know why, but they sound ridiculous. It's like a person trying to speak another language. They look like they're pretending. Anyway, so she said that this black woman, she tried to be nice to her, but she said the black woman was just not interested in talking to her. She said the entire time she was getting the vibe from her that she just didn't want to be around her. And my friend is a super nice person. But inner city black people, so the question is, and of course it's in the title, the question is, wow, I think I found the hood in this city. The question is, should you try to befriend inner city black people? My answer, and I'll tell you my story. Actually, let me tell you my story first, and then I'll tell you my answer. My story is this. Most of the time, I've met some really cool people from the inner city. Some really nice people. At some point, all black people probably came. Well, most of us probably came from the inner city, right? In the country. Most of us, we all come from the same places. But I have a really good point to make about this. Just, but as we move out of the inner city, as we experience social mobility, as we move up, as we get better paying jobs, as we go to college, as we live in different neighborhoods, our surroundings change, our ideas about life change, our language changes. I told you guys, if you listen to the children of rappers, some of the children of successful rappers who have grown up in the suburbs, who've grown up in privilege, really, they sound nothing like their parents, their rapper parents. And their disposition, or the way they behave and the way their attitude is totally different from that of their parents. They come from two different backgrounds. This has nothing to do with black. This has everything to do with socioeconomics. Okay? And it's very apparent when you just listen to people, observe, listen, and you'll see that it doesn't have anything to do with your rapper parents or that you're black, how you behave. It's your environment. And a lot of people who grow up in the inner city, they act literally like, they come from a dangerous world, and they think that everyone is supposed to act like them because that's what they're limited to based on their education. And so, and anyone who's not from that world, they automatically view you as being white, or, like some derivative of being white. And it's just not. It's sad, but it's understandable at the same time. If you really think about their position, it's understandable. They think they view everyone with money who's not a rapper, who didn't make it in rap or athletics, as almost like someone who's trying to be white. And a lot of black people who grow up outside of the inner city, they understand this. They understand that these people view them in this way, and they understand. Oh, here we go. They understand. I was looking for this park. I think I found it. Or is this a different park? So they understand that. Oh, this is a nice park. They understand that people who. It's the same park. Yeah, they understand that people who, when you leave the inner city or when you grow up in a different place, that the inner city folks, black folks, who you'll probably run into still at church, because the black church, there's really no such thing as a black church that's predominantly wealthy suburban people. I mean, it's not really common. Even if it does exist, it's not super common. It's usually a mix of classes, people from different areas. You have your doctors, and you have your, other people who are there, and that's fine. There, let me park. Yeah, so just to kind of speed this up, I just got to this park. Cool little park. Let me show you a quick view. Little skate park. I don't skateboard, but when I was a kid, I used to skateboard a little bit. I wasn't good, but I just like to kind of watch the skaters. There's a little black kid here skating too. I don't know if you can see him. It's right there. If you guys, if you're in Southern California, if you've ever been to, go check out. If you've ever been to Venice Beach has got a pretty cool skate park, and you see a lot of black kids out there skating. A lot of really good black skaters. Black kids are getting into they've gotten into skateboarding pretty big. California's got a pretty strong skate culture. Oh, there's a girl out here getting it done. No helmet, nothing, just riding the ramps, half pipe. So anyway, I've spoken to many people from the inner city, and it's a mixed bag. It's, some people are really cool. They understand you. They understand where you're from. They deal with you. They're cool people. They're probably curious about you, not being from the inner city. Some people are really hostile, really, really hostile. And I know there was a guy that I met in college who we were cool for a little bit. I wasn't really about his lifestyle, but I remember this guy, he just thought he was some kind of thug. I'm like, dude, you're in college and you're working on a bachelor's and you want to be a thug? Thugs don't go to school. Real thugs don't go to school. So he was hood adjacent. He's one of these people who wanted to be hood. He didn't want to lose his street cred. He wanted to maintain this idea of black masculinity. If you want to be masculine, just box, kickbox, wrestle, jujitsu, learn how to fight, go to the shooting range, learn how to, get it all out. Learn how to, if you want to be masculine, if you want to do manly things, do that. Do construction, work on cars, whatever. If you want to do that kind of stuff. But being a thug doesn't make you a man. But in the black community, that's the misconception. Being a thug or being thug adjacent or being some sort of soft thug or some sort of, hood aligned type of person gets you street cred, and people tend to pay attention to you and like you more, I guess, or the girls like you more. I don't know. I really don't know. I didn't really have any problems dating in college. Black girls, I had a bunch of other girls that liked me too, who I wasn't into, girls of different races, but half of them I didn't find out about until after I left college. But what I'm saying is, so let me go back to my original point. And I gotta turn this AC back on. It's getting hot. Alright, bad boy, start up. Alright, so just real quick, kind of going overtime on this video. I want to get outside and I gotta actually work on another video topic. First of all, I can't believe I'm doing all this for free. I'm not monetizing these videos. I feel like I should start monetizing these. I'm not here to make money. I'm doing other things to make money. So should you try to be friends with them? It's probably going to end poorly. I'm just going to let you know that. It's probably going to end poorly. There's a reason why, I use this as an example because it doesn't matter what ethnicity you are. Poverty tends to breed ignorance, and poverty tends to breed a certain type of people. White people have their trailer park people, okay? Suburban white Americans are not in a hurry to go and befriend trailer park people. Trailer park people want nothing to do with suburban park people. Suburban park people. Suburban people white people from the suburbs have no desire to be around people from the trailer park. They make fun of them. So, and there's a reason why they make fun of each other. They're two different groups. They understand things differently. So I personally don't believe that we should even try to befriend, that you should try to befriend them. I think if they're friendly at work, you should say hi, you should be polite. But because of their culture, because of the African American hood culture, there's a guy out here who's like 35, 40 out here skateboarding. He's about to bust his head open. I could just sense it. Like he looks unstable. He's about like, I'm gonna watch this guy. This guy's gonna really bust his head open. He doesn't have a helmet on, nothing. He looks like a dad. He looks like he did this like 20 years ago when he was a kid. Anyway, so there's a reason why I think we should definitely be polite, talk to them, but the minute you come across as being judgmental of their lifestyle, the minute you come across as being looking down on, or if they even in any way sense that you're looking down on them or their culture, forget it. You're done. That relationship is done, because hood aligned people and hood people, hood adjacent, whatever, fence riders, all of these people are very, very, well, actually, let me scratch that. That's not true. Hood people, inner city hood people, are very, very temperamental. Oftentimes, they're just extremely temperamental. A lot of them, because it's the culture. It's not DNA per se. It's just how they've been socialized. It's the environment. The environment teaches them to respond in a certain way. And usually that's with a clapback or some sort of violence, or, you know, this is how hood-aligned people are socialized. And it's not their fault. It's just, it's where they're from. So I personally think it's a bad idea to try to befriend them. I don't think it's going to end right. I think you're from two different worlds. I think if a person from the hood sees, if they're willing, if they come to you and they're like, you know what, I'm so sick and tired of the hood and hood people, and I want out, I want to live somewhere else. I want to be around some normal people. I want to be in another type of environment. I think that type of person is the best type of person. That person's ripe. That's the type of person from the hood that you can actually talk to. That's the type of person from the hood who's going to be open-minded. They're going to be a better type of person. But the hood is like a prison. You know, people in prison, it's just a dangerous environment. There's lots of crime, and it puts people in a certain state of mind, a really dangerous state of mind, where they're very volatile. They react in certain ways, and they're quick to look at everything as being white and black, and they're quick to snap on people, and they're just really, really, it's just an unfortunate situation. So my answer is personally no. And if you can see something good in that person, if they, be open-minded to it. You know, talk to them. I've dealt with it. I've dealt with these people. But generally, as a rule, I avoid them. If I get the sense that that's where they're from and that's how and this is who they are, I generally just avoid them. Looks like the camera was acting up. So if you see my lips not matching, my camera was acting up. Well, obviously, but I apologize. Anyway, guys, common denominator. Till the next video. Peace.